Good morning. Welcome back to the Retirement Report. I'm Hank Parrott, your host. With me, my good friend, special guest, Dr. Friday with Dr. Friday's Tax and Financial Services over in Brentwood, Tennessee. And Dr. Friday is a tax expert when it comes to both individuals and small business owners. So she's got a lot, in fact, of small business owners as clients. I happen to be one of them. So, in fact, she's been taking care of my accounting and bookkeeping and taxes and all that for a few years.
Exactly. He's always, I'm always teasing him. 10 plus is all we need to stop at. We don't need to go more than 10 years. I think we've built up a long enough rapport. If people think I've been with you for 10 years, what's the difference if we're hitting 20?
What if it's, that's right, 10, 20, it's all the same, right?
Exactly. It's all the same at that point.
Yeah, well.
Just makes me older at that point.
It happens to the best of us. You know, one of the things we were talking about a little bit on the break there, which was kind of interesting, when we're getting into these areas where people are, you know, and I've talked about, I was just talking earlier about the pension system.
Right.
And when we're talking about government pensions being underwater, that they have not set aside enough money, their earnings are not enough, and there's now new accounting methodologies that go into how they have to report it. So the problem is now coming to surface more than ever because of new rules that the government accounting office has put out there for the state government.
The requirements have changed on how they have to file, yeah.
So now when they're showing, here's our unfunded liability, and this is going to create some other problems, by the way. Here's the ripple effect of some of this to help. An example would be, all right, states can't, you know, they're running into a problem. They're starting to show it. Illinois is about to go into junk bond status. All right, the ability to borrow money as a junk bond, meaning that, you know, your credit is so bad that people are, you're not going to be able to pay us back. So for that extra risk, they're going to charge, of course, a lot more interest, which is going to make it even more difficult for Illinois, since if they can't balance the budget now, how are they going to do it if that debt goes up? And what does that mean with regard to the local taxes? Well, and it's not, so we said Illinois, well, guess what? New Jersey, they fall into that. Guess what? Kentucky is one of those that they said also. So now here's the neighboring, I mean, all the states, basically, all of us, this is going to require some type of government intervention. Yeah. All right, to make sure, because
didn't California run into something kind of long? I mean, at one point there was talk of them being the first state to go bankrupt. I mean, this was a number of years ago, but I remember and then I think there was a bailout of some sort that we actually ended up funding somehow. The federal gave them some sort of huge bond or whatever, and I have clients in California still, and I know there was an additional tax put on employers on every dollar they paid in payroll as a loan payback or something. So we ended up having to do some additional, so actually employees and employers end up paying this loan back through their paychecks. So just curious, but I do remember something like that.
This is one of the things with the state of California, and it's another area, as you said, it's not just what they did in terms of federal assistance, but the other part is that the states are having to pass legislation where they're saying, well, we're going to kick in money, we're going to take on that obligation out of our general funds. So in other words, they're saying we didn't set enough aside to keep the promise, so now we're going to you, current taxpayer, all right, and we're going to get money from you to help pay for these people because we didn't set enough aside when we made those deals with them out of the money that we were receiving at that time. Now, you can see that's not really sustainable. No. Okay, here's another part of that. When we look at the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation, PBGC as it's referred to, this is a government agency, federal government agency, and its job, in fact, it acts as a safety net for pensions. So, in private pensions. So, if a companies get in trouble, if they file bankruptcy, if they can't keep up, if they also can't keep their pension because they're underfunded as well, well, this is where PBGC will step in and pick up that pension up to a certain amount. And this is one of those areas, higher paying things, like we were talking about airline pilots as an example. We've had bankruptcies in the airline industry in the past, and they were, you know, supposed to receive, in many instances, six-figure type pensions. Well, PBGC only goes up to 60,000, so a lot of them took like a 50% or more cut in what they had planned on receiving in retirement. These kinds of problems that that arise, it goes to how important it is that we just can't let the opportunities of the things that we can control, in particular at this point, taxes how we do our finances, how we make sure we're getting our money is working for us safely, so we're not going to go backwards.
Well, that's it. And now we're living longer, you're saying, so the problem even gets bigger. Because now we have the potential if people have worked for the state or teachers or firemen, all those are basically those kind of funds that you're talking about. All the people that have made the state and country good, I mean, in many ways, their pensions are particularly at risk. And then Social Security, which is the other side of that, is also somewhat at risk. And so then, at least many of my clients I'm finding are working longer. I mean, they basically are figuring, not necessarily at the same careers, like we were talking about sometimes in a last meeting I was at with, I'm an enrolled agent, and one of the last meetings we had was talking about Lyft and Uber, finding side jobs that they could still do, control their schedule a little bit more, but still make money on those. But I mean, like Tennessee, Nashville just passed a huge law for Uber drivers and Lyft drivers about where they can and can't pull over. So there's becoming a lot more regulation and stuff because it's becoming a bigger industry, right? So they're making it a little harder.
And you know, sometimes people come in and it's just like, I am done. I don't want to work, you know, at this job anymore. I've, you know, I've got whatever amount of years there and done. Well, at the same time, I'm fortunate enough. I do the work that I do. I don't ever want to retire. I really enjoy it. I mean, I look forward to going to work every day. So
you're weird.
But I am weird. Weird as you, as I think.
Exactly. Two peas in a pod that way.
There we go. So, but this is one of those areas. Not everyone, you know, of course, has that, but finding it may be the other part. More and more people are working in retirement, sometimes in the things that they do. I have more and more clients that choose to do that. They retire maybe from one career to start another, something they would enjoy more, or something that maybe and sometimes they do in the same industry but as a consultant, but they work less hours or they work fewer days. And, you know, this is an area that you might want to consider, because as people are living longer and we've got to make sure that money lasts longer, you know, what are the ways that we're going to do that?
Yeah, but I have to jump in. Now you're talking about people now. I mean, people that are like maybe 60 moving forward. This may or may not have a huge effect at this point, even though some of those funds say within the next 2 years there could be issues or something. So it could be a lot faster. But how about people that are maybe just turning, I don't know, 50, 55, they're 10 years out. Is there different things that they should be looking at? I mean, besides getting a good financial planner that actually has a plan, because so often those people don't have a plan, but you know, having a great plan would be a step one. But is there some other things that, because that we're talking now that maybe we won't have as much Social Security as we thought we were going to have, maybe we won't have as much pension as we thought we were going to have based on, you know, service or whatever? Is there some other steps that people should be taking now where they still have the potential of making lifestyle changes to adjust? Otherwise they will be working till they're 100. This
is one of those things, and it's finding out, first off, if you want to work, okay, then yeah, it should be for that reason. I really like to do that. I need, you know, and for many instances it's about something that keeps you feeling like you've got something to look forward to, that you enjoy, that keeps you socially out there with friends and stuff, that, you know, work friends. All of these, there's a lot of different things that we get from our work, and, you know, that gives us pleasure, gives us joy, but we maybe don't want to have, we can have just as much pleasure and joy with half as much time, maybe.
Exactly. 3 days a week instead of 7.
That's it. So it's finding, you know, well, what does work? Sometimes, you know, going into like teaching or sometimes, and if the money is, you've done well financially.
It's not about
and
the
I got to say, I have a lot of clients that do come in, and they, you know, there's no need for them to work, and they may do volunteer work, or they may do things that don't necessarily bring in a paycheck, but still give them a lot of joy and still meet those, you know, check those boxes off, whatever that might be for them. Biggest thing is making sure that you understand that your money has to last, all right? And it may be you may be talking 20, 25, 30 years or more in retirement without a paycheck.
Scary.
So in particular, that if you don't go into retirement 15 years in and then decide, oh, I need to, you know, kind of go back in now, it's going to be a lot harder at that time to find something, and then of course there's the health, you know, part that comes in, you know, if your health holds up and allows you to. So this is where the planning comes in. When I have a lot of clients that come in, new clients, that they'll come in, they want to say, hey, all right, am I able to retire when I want to? And we work up those numbers. We show you your financial future. Back for the first 10 callers, might as well get that out there, right? Go. For the first 10 callers to my office this morning, Tess is standing by. She'll get your information. She'll send you out a checklist of things to bring to the meeting with me, and what we'll do is we'll do up a full comprehensive financial plan for you. Retirement income analysis. Basically what we're going to do is show you your financial future. If you keep doing the things you're doing, all right, I'll show you what that's going to look like for you in 5, 10, 20 years down the road and more based on that. All right, and let's say that one of the things I do a lot of times, I'll show you that picture, and then I'll ask you questions. Well, is this, maintaining your current standard of living? Is that, is that what you're looking to do? Are there other things? Sometimes we may have what we call fund money, an extra $500, $1,000 a month, whatever it might be, that we want to factor in there too, for maybe for travel or for other goals that we may have when you retire. Right? Every day's Saturday. So what are you going to do? So this is where, again, you want to see what that plan looks like, and then at a time when you can still do something about it, okay? Whether you're just checking in, I've got new clients come in all the time each week that first they want to say, hey, can I retire when I want to? Am I not going to run out of money? Are we going to be okay? And others that are in retirement and are saying, hey, am I going to be able to maintain and not run out of money? Am I going to be okay? Those are the things we can do, and we can show you strategies that can help improve your situation. All right, ways to make more money on your money, ways to reduce risk so you don't have to worry about losing what you have. There are a lot of different strategies that can be employed. How to minimize taxes, a lot of things you can do now that's so important. So again, first 10 callers, 615-376-5325. Tess will get you information, and wouldn't you know that?
That's right.
Okay,
and he's ringing. And I will add to that
I never do that.
Clients that have come in the last couple of weeks, and I have found out that they're not maximizing. They're maximizing the match for their 401ks. They're not maximizing their 401ks. And these are people that are in the higher income brackets. And that's huge. Oh,
we have to break. I know we have to break, and there was a lot of things I was trying to cram in there. All right, we're going to cram them in when we get back. So join us here. We'll be right back on the Retirement Report.